In this video, we'll solve these three equations by factoring. First, I want to recall how to factor a trinomial, which is a three-term polynomial, in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. Well, if this trinomial is factorable, it will be in the form of x plus a number times x plus a number. Here we'll call these two numbers s and t. The s and t here will multiply to be c, and they will add up to be b. For example, if I want to factor the trinomial x squared minus x minus 2, which is in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. Well, if it is factorable, not every trinomial is factorable, by the way, then it will be in this form, x something times x something. The two numbers we need here will multiply to be negative 2 and add up to be, the number in front of x here is negative 1. Okay, so first let's look at negative 2. What two numbers will multiply to be negative 2? Okay, we know 2 can be factored as either 1 times 2. Oh, that's it. That's the only combination. 1 times 2 is 2. Since the two numbers multiply to be negative 2, that means one of these two numbers will be positive and the other one will be negative. Right? So now let's decide which one is positive, which one is negative. Well, they add up to be negative 1. Well, that means this 2 must be negative and 1 is positive. So the two numbers we want will be positive 1 and negative 2. So I will write here plus 1 minus 2. Now let's look at problem A. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. One good thing is one side is already equal to 0. All we have to do is to factor the left side. Since it is in the form of x squared plus bx plus c, if it is factorable, it will be in this form. X something times x something. The two numbers here in the blank will multiply to be 6 and add up to be 5. So let's start with this 6. What two numbers multiply to be 6? There are several combinations. Either it is 2 times 3 or 1 times 6. Anything else? That's it. That's all the combination. Either 2 times 3 or 1 times 6. We're talking about whole numbers here. Now let's look at the other condition. The two numbers need to add up to be 5. Since we have a positive 6 here, that means the two numbers have the same sign. Either they're both positive or they're both negative. So that means the two numbers must be 2 and 3. Positive 2 and positive 3. Multiply to be 6, add up to be positive 5. It wouldn't be 1 and 6 because the only way 1 and 6 makes a 5 is negative 1 and 6. But since the two numbers multiply to be a positive 6, you can't have one number negative and one number positive, so that's not the combination. So we found the two numbers. One is positive 2, the other one is positive 3. So we're done factoring the left side. Now we can come up with two equations. Either the first factor, x plus 2, is equal to 0, or the second factor, x plus 3, is equal to 0. Now solve for each equation. You will have two solutions here. x equals to -2 or -3. Now let's look at b. X squared minus 13x is equal to -36. First step, we want to leave one side equal to 0. So we want to add 36 on both sides. So we'll have x squared minus 13x plus 36 equals to 0. If the left side is factorable, it will be in the form of x something times x something equals 0. So now we need to find two numbers. They multiply to be 36 and add up to be -13. So let's look at 36. What two numbers multiply to be 36? Well, it could be 6 times 6, or 4 times 9, or 3 times 12, or 1 times 36, just to name a few. Actually, that's all the combination. Well, the two numbers also need to add up to be -13. Okay, since the two numbers multiply to be a positive 36, the two numbers we're looking for needs to be either both positive or both negative. Right, since they add up to be -13, that means they're both negative. Okay, so let's look at all the combinations we have here. Which two numbers will end up to be a 13? Well, it will be this combination, right? 4 plus 9 is 13. And they're both negative. -4 and -9 add up to be -13. So the two numbers we're looking for are -4, -9. Okay, so now we can come up with two equations. Either x minus 4 is equal to 0 or x minus 9 is equal to 0. Solving for two equations, one solution is 4, the other solution is 9. Two solutions for this problem. Now let's look at problem C here. X minus 2 times x plus 3 equals 6. You may think, it is so nice, the problem is already factored for us. But the problem is, the other side is not equal to 0. It's a 6. We want one side equal to 0. So we have to actually break the left side and move the 6 to the right side. First, let's expand the left side. X minus 2 times x plus 3. Here I will multiply 2 terms times 2 terms. First, we'll multiply this way. X times x is x squared. Then x times positive 3, positive 3x. Then multiply this -2. -2 times x, -2x. -2 times 3, -6 equals 6. Now the left side combine like terms. These two terms are actually like terms. X squared, 3x minus 2x, that's a positive 1x, minus 6 equals 6. Remember, we need to leave one side equal to 0, so move the 6 to the left side, subtract 6 on both sides. We have x squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. Okay, now all we have to do is factor the left side. Well, it is in the form of x squared plus bx plus c, so if it is factorable, it will be in this form. The two numbers we're looking for will multiply to be -12 and add up to be positive 1. let's try to factor 12. What times what is 12? Well, it's either, it looks like here is 3 and 4, right? Because their difference is 1. Since they multiplied to be a negative 12, that means one number is positive, one number is negative. So the number who's being negative is the 3, because negative 3 plus 4 will give us a positive 1. Okay, that's the two numbers we're looking for, negative 3 and positive 4. You can come up with two equations. Solve for each equation. You'll have two solutions.